This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted as always to be joined here today by unbeaten welterweight prospect, contender, star of the future, Conor Benn. We're here at the Matchroom Gym in Essex. How are you, Conor?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. Obviously, it's my last spar today, so I'm feeling good, ready to go.
Now, I was privileged to watch your sparring. Being the last spar of camp, what kind of goes into a last spar of camp? Do you try and leave as much in there as you can, or is it a little bit more of a technical spar?
I just think about my opponent. Obviously, the guy I sparred today, he was about the same height as my opponent, 5'11", and I worked on everything I'm going to do come next Saturday.
Talk to me about your opponent, Laszlo Toth. Not an awful lot known about him by certainly some sections of the boxing fans, as it were. How much do you know about him?
He's durable, he's decent. He fought that Kermel Lendra who knocked Bradley Ski out in, was it a round? So he's definitely durable. He's had more knockouts than I've had fights. So it's another test, but I believe in myself. I believe I'll come out on top, and at some stage of the fight I will catch him and he'll know about it.
Now, for people who are watching this, we actually started this interview out there, but I'm going to ask you the same question again. Every time I sit down and speak to you, it's kind of like, right, I'm going to work on my skills in this fight, or the next time it's, well, I'm going to show them like my power and my heart and the Ben kind of name and ferocity. What can we expect to see you this time out?
It's not like I just go. It's not like I'm going. Yeah, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Just whoever turns up on the night. It's as if like I got mixed personalities. It's like come fight night. Hey, is the boxer Conor Benn going to show up? Is the fighter Benn going to show up? Which one is it? And obviously, if the guy fancies it, well, I fancy it too. So it ain't going to take much to fire me up. So if I box, I'll box. I do what needs to be done. I do what needs to be done to get a win. I've proven in my fights that I can box. I've proven in my fights that when it comes down to getting dirty, I can get down and get dirty. And either don't face me, I'll do what needs to be done to win the fight.
Your last fight against Jussi Koivula, again somebody who's kind of known to be a very tough, rugged fighter. You made relatively light work of it. I mean, it was quite a difficult opening round for yourself, but the second round you managed to catch him, you managed to put him away. But I think what stood out for me was you were more calculated than we've seen you in the past. Is that something that you've had to work on?
Definitely, that only comes with experience and having hard fights. I'm more thankful for my hard fights as I learn from them, but then again, you don't get paid for overtime, so if I can get them out, I'll be happy as well. But the long rounds, the hard fights, will stand me in good place for the future. But me, he come out all guns blazing. You don't go swimming and not get wet. And second round, I adapted. He caught me with loads of right hands in the first round, and then it took for me to realise, yeah, I'm dropping my left hand. And then second round, didn't get caught with one. I countered his right hand, bang, left hook, and I said to people, at some stage of the fight, I will hit you and you will know about it. And the left hook seems to be my punch. I mean, I put away around 90% of my knockouts with my left hand. Out of my 15 fights, 13 people have gone over. So, and the early ones that didn't go over were my first couple fights. But 13 out of my 15 fights, people have touched the canvas more than once.
And before we come on to kind of what potentially could, I know you're not going to be looking past next weekend, but what could potentially follow in the future, let's talk about your dad, who's been in camp with you, alongside you in camp himself. How's that been?
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I still haven't wrapped my head around my dad fighting again, but I mean, who would have thought? I didn't even plan on being a fighter, let alone being where I am, let alone being in camp with my dad, and let alone my dad fighting again. It's just goes to show that life takes you where it takes you. You just got to go with the flow and make sure whatever you do, you're doing your best at it, and we'll end up where we end up. As I said, I'm not saying I'm going to be world champion tomorrow. I'm one of these delusional fighters out there that are going to go, oh yeah, I'm going to be this and be that and be this and be that. All I know is that I'm going to give the British public entertainment. I fight with my heart on my sleeve, and we'll end up where we end up. All I know is that I'll give everything I got, and when my career's said and done, that I've done everything I can to get where I am.
Could you have ever foreseen your dad coming back to the ring?
No way. No way. I mean, he's talking about it all the time, but I was like, it's a dream of his. A dream. And the fact that it's reality is, it's just, Still ain't sunk in. Ain't sunk in. I don't want my dad fighting, man. It's quite emotional. I don't want him getting in the ring. It's not nice. Do you know what I mean? Nothing fun about watching your dad getting punched in the face, especially after all the incidents that happen. I mean, it's four deaths in 4 months. It's pretty sickening, really. And sometimes I question, why do I do this? Why do I fight? I don't need to fight. It's not like I've, come from nothing, or I don't have to fight, but I choose to fight, which makes me think I'm nuts.
I think every fight is a little bit nuts, personally. Would you agree with that?
Not if you have no choice. If fighting's all you know, if fighting because it's your only hope of getting out of whatever situation you're in life, that if you're, have nothing, if you're from poverty and fighting's the only thing you know what to do to get out, well, that's understandable. I don't have to fight. I just love fighting, and we all know the consequences, and it's an unforgiving sport. It really is. You have one bad night in the office, you're written off. Your career's written off. People, you're a journeyman at best. And then one performance, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it's a crazy sport. It is a crazy sport, and sometimes I wonder why do I do this? And then I realise, what else would I rather be doing? I could be anything I wanted to be. Could have been a footballer. Went to college, got my PT certificates free for my master's degree in fitness. I've done painting and decorating. I love painting and decorating. Done a bit of scaffolding. I've worked in retail, and painting and decorating was my favourite one by far. It's therapeutic for me. I enjoy it. So sometimes I think, would I do that? So it's just crazy, really.
You mentioned and you touched upon the fact that we've had 4 deaths in the last 4 months in the sport, obviously the most recent of which being Patrick Day yesterday, that obviously tragic announcement. Does that play on your mind more so now when thinking about your dad, the fact that there's been these very recent tragedies? Does that bring it home a little bit more?
For my dad, it brings it home for myself as well. I think it's a reminder for all the fighters out there, and it's so horrible to hear, because then sometimes you try and weigh it up, and it's like, well, what's worth more? What is? There's easier ways to make money, so it's obviously not a money thing. So it's hard. I don't honestly want to get punched first off. I mean, all the wars he had throughout his career, and he's come out unscathed with all his faculties intact. So why would you want to, put your foot back in that, play around with it? But we're fighters, and I think for us as fighters, people won't understand our frame of mind, our mindset, the way we are, the way we think, because this ain't for the same. This sport ain't for the same, no way. But I try and stay aware of it. My thought process, I try to stay on top of it and think, yeah, like, this is normal, this ain't normal. I try and just be I try and think normal, because I see so many fighters out there who were so far gone in the head. It's like, so I try and stay, on top of it. I try and, go to church. It keeps me grounded, keeps my feet on the ground, and just pray that when I go into that ring that I'm covered with angels, and my opponent, no one gets hurt. And it's just horrible. I'm not sure if it's social media as to why you're hearing about everything now, or why you're hearing about it much more. People drained on the weight. You just don't know. So all I know is that I've gone back to the changing room, not well, and you're thinking, well, I'm not in a fight. I'm not going to go, oh, I don't feel right. Can we stop here, please? I would have done that in that Payneard fight. I would have gone, you don't think about it. You don't put your health first. That's, you put your pride on the line. You want to be number one. You want to be the best. You want to be the better man on the night. And sometimes I don't think, oh, what could be happening to me here. I go in there and I'm in a fight and I'm going to do everything I can to win. And you can't be saying to do that.
How much, if any, of a conversation did you have with your dad before he decided to come back to boxing?
I just made my peace with my dad and said what I had to say. And either way, we're still going to fight. So what am I going to do? Say, I don't want to. That's it. I'm not supporting that. No, right, Dad. I love you. I understand why you want to fight. If it was for money or for fame, then I'll be against it. Because it's not about the money. Built a 6-bedroom mansion just now in Australia, Sydney, with his own theatre room, swimming pool, all ensuite bathrooms, beautiful. So it ain't about the money, ain't about the fame, because he'd be living here, not in Australia, on the other side of the world. He really is doing this for himself. So who am I to take that away from him? I'm gonna support him. He's working hard. He's living with me at the moment, and it's just crazy where life takes you. And all I'm doing his nutting I'm just on him, on his case all the time. But I just want to make sure that my dad goes in there. I've done everything I can as a son to make sure he's in the best condition he can be in, but for when he fights.
How's that been, living together?
It's actually been alright. I have pulled the ones, well, you're under my roof, so you listen to my rules. I've pulled that one. Trust me, I've been waiting for that my whole life. You're under my roof now. Do washing up. No, no, but it's been good. I've enjoyed having him over. My whole family's in Sydney, so I miss them. There's loads of things that people just think, oh yeah, Conor's here, he lives the life. I don't. My family's in Australia. I sometimes question why I do this. When you're hearing about things like that, man, I'm not with my family. I'm seeing my little sister and my little brother grown up. They're grown. I'm missing out on being the big brother they deserve. So there's a lot of things that I sometimes weigh up. People think, oh, Conor lives the life, Listen, I have my struggles just as much as everybody else. I have to deal with so much as it is. Forget the pressure of boxing on. That's another whole, thing. That's another whole, area of my life that I've got to deal with. But then there's loads of others. So as far as it goes, social media is the best part. People want, people to see. But obviously everyone's got their day-to-day living that they got to deal with. Everybody. I don't care who it is. Everybody deals with something. Some more than most. Some handle it better. Some handle it worse. And I'm learning how to handle it all at once. Because this is a life you can't prepare for. It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. You make a mistake, you do this, or you make a 23-year-old naive mistake. You say something, you do this, you do that, and it's just crazy. This interview's turned quite deep. Good. This has been planned on having a deep interview. I think maybe it's because I'm tired or something.
Well, I appreciate your honesty and your openness. One thing that we've spoken about in the past, when we did that interview at BXR, which I encourage people to watch if you haven't, we spoke about carrying the Benn name and kind of carrying the legacy of your dad. I mean, your dad's one of the most beloved fighters in British boxing history. I mean, anybody who watched sport, not even boxing, throughout the 90s knows your dad. I know that from what you've said to me in the past that you want to carve out your own legacy, and I know that certain other people, we won't name any names, yeah. It's not always been the same for them. But you had your dad in Australia, as you mentioned. You were kind of, not to say you were in his shadow, but you were kind of forging your own career, and you're forging Conor Benn as opposed to Nigel's son. Now that he's come back and there's all of this attention on him, how's that been for you, having that kind of that added, I mean, he's back now.
It takes pressure off me a little bit, really. I don't even think like that. I don't even think like that. My dad, whether he's here or not, I'm still going to make my own decisions. He raised me the way he's raised me. I'm still going to do, make the choices I make. And my dad, he ain't trying to nick no limelight. I ain't trying to nick no limelight. There's nothing about limelight. I'm sure if we could fight in a room in front of 10 people, we'd prefer that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about... Like, we just laugh in it. We just laugh together. We honestly have a laugh every single day. He's funny, man. He just makes me laugh. He's bonkers. And the worst part is, I'm becoming more and more like him. hopefully in the ring as well. But I'm becoming more and more like him.
How do you mean? How do you mean?
Random, odd. Don't think before we speak. Come out with stupid things. We're just so alike. It's weird. I've got a twin sister, and I'd say me and my dad are more like twins. It's really weird. Like, we've got the same cut on our eyebrow here that he done and I was born with. Same eyebrow. We've got the same cut underneath. We've got the same knuckle cut on the same knuckle, same area, same right hand. When he done his Achilles, I sprained my ankle. When I'd done my wrist, he done his elbow. We're both in a cast. So I think when my dad has an injury or something, I'm thinking, cool, I best bubble wrap that area. Because it's just crazy how... it's weird because he's like a brother to me. But a brother that I respect as my dad. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because, like, some parents are, like...
I have a similar relationship with my dad.
Yeah, they're on, like... Yeah, but some parents are like brothers, but then there's not that respect as their dad. I respect my dad as a dad and take his advice as a dad. But we're on a level. It's weird.
I've been I've been at the gym now today for probably going on 3 hours. He's been out there, he's been talking to anybody who's there, he's been making jokes, he's been laughing and dancing around and listening to music. Has he always been like that? I know we'd spoken about kind of what he was like when you were younger. Is it the boxing that's done that to him now, or being back, or is it, I know he's obviously church and religion and stuff. I mean, what's that like for you to see?
No, he weren't like this. Me and my dad didn't get on. Like, my whole childhood we didn't get on. And he'd say in interviews it was because of, his unfaithfulness to my wife, us as a family, etc., etc. He had his own demons that he had to deal with, and I couldn't understand why he was the way he was. And then it took for me to, when I was 18, I thought my dad didn't love me, and he was a disciplinarian, very strict, very strict. I mean, I've had the lot. I've had the belt, the backhand, the fist, the bamboo stick. The lot, because I was naughty, but he done it out of love. But I didn't understand that was his way of showing me he loved me. It was very, very weird. And then when I turned 18, when I got into proper trouble, like serious trouble, I was thinking, cool, no, I'm never going to reach the end of it. I was in really bad trouble. And he just said, son, I love you. And gave me a hug. And then that broke the ice from the past, 10 years. And since that day, since he just said I love you and gave me a cuddle and bowed me out of time when I was really in need of him, was when everything just fell apart and our relationship was on the mend instantly. And now, as I just said to you, the relationship we have now, but it wasn't always like that.
How pleasing is it for you to see him like this now, considering all of that and your kind of your checkered past with him and the issues that you've just mentioned then? How pleasing is it for you to see him as he is now in the relationship that you've got now?
Well, I understand him now because I went through it. He was telling me things about women, about this, about that, and I'm like, don't get what you're talking about. I'm not like you. And then I was like him for a few months of my life. As soon as I turned 18, done a lot of wrong things, and it was like, I get what you've been trying to say to me, but I was too innocent and young to understand why you was having a go at me and what you was warning me of, because I weren't living it. But then when I did live it, then I understood. That's why you said stay away from them people. That's why you said stay away from that girl. That's why you're saying go to church. He just didn't know how to communicate it to me properly. But now I know. And now I understand. But then now it helped me be a better dad to my kids. Because now it's all just understanding. And there was no grace in my house with my dad. There was no, compassion whatsoever. There was no compassion for nothing. You make your bed, you lay in it. Simple. But without my dad being the way he was, I wouldn't be as focused as I am now. I go to church every Sunday now. He used to drag me to church when I was younger, but I go off my own back now. So, I mean, I love my dad for everything he done for me. I love him for the punishment I got, for the wrong things I did. I love him for loving me when I should have been loved. I just didn't understand it. I didn't get it. And now I get it. As I'm older, my dad used to say to me, "You won't understand now, but when you're older, you'll understand." And now I do understand.
Just the final one on your dad. I know you did an interview with a colleague of mine. I wasn't able to catch up with you, but you did an interview with a colleague of mine, and you said that you wouldn't be watching the fight, or that you don't want to watch the fight. Is that still the same? Have you changed your opinion on it? Have you changed your thoughts on it?
I don't know if I can watch it. It's not whether I want. I don't know if I can. It's quite emotional. I don't watch him spar. I don't watch him fight. I don't watch him spar though either. So it's just not nice.
Do you think he should be fighting?
Because of the reasons behind why he wants to fight, and I was him, I probably would. Because of the reasons, because he's really doing it from himself. As far as health, no. But we're not what if type of people. We're not, or I wonder, we're not going to go to the grave with those thoughts. And that's why I respect it. As I said, if it was for money, if it was for fame, I'd be heavily against it. And I'd be like, that is so selfish. It's an easier way to make money. If it's about the fame, what about your family? But it really is for him. And I understand that. So there is no, you ask me, should he be fighting? It's down to him. It's like me saying, well, about anything. Should someone who's 80 be on the road driving? Should someone who really has bad vision be on the road driving? Well, I wouldn't say it's the wisest choice. It's not the wisest, but you can drive. You pass your driving test. He's passed his medical. It just ain't wise. But let him do what he's got to do. I back him and I'll support him through his decision. Don't know if my analogy was good there. I think it was okay.
I think it was okay, and given the fact that it is, I know and I can see and feel it's a very emotional subject for you, I think you fought very well there in your head, so that was okay. Moving away from your dad, really good time to be a welterweight in Britain at the minute. Welterweight division is kind of bubbling along nicely. Your old mate, Josh Kelly, is kind of jumping up potentially to fight David Avanesian for the European title. Almost said vacant, it's not vacant. First and foremost, what do you make of that? Because that's a name that's been linked with yourself. Josh and your name has been paired together for about a year now. What do you make of him boxing, or potentially boxing, David Avanesian? Is that still a fight that you're still looking at?
Who, Avanesian or Kelly?
Kelly.
Definitely. I mean, it's a British rival, and the British public want to see it. It's in demand. I get asked about it all the time. Everyone keeps thinking I'm calling him out, but the reality is, I don't need no more Instagram followers. Or, I mean, without social media, if he walks down the road, people know who he is. Do you know what I mean? So forget all the Instagram followers and all that, because it's irrelevant to me. Do you know what I mean? That don't sell out arenas. So he's a good fighter. He's good technically. I think Avanesian will be a bit too much. Avanesian ain't no Sugar Ray. Ain't no Ray Robinson. Avanesian's a banger, and he'll apply pressure from the get go. So I think this would be what you see from Kelly. I mean, it was either a rematch with Robinson or Avanesian, wasn't it? It was either one or the other. So, but it's a good fight, very good fight. I'll be watching that for sure.
And I know something you've had to deal with since you turned over. Again, kind of talking about the Benn legacy and what all that comes with is people calling you out. I know Luther Clay just got himself a good win on a matchroom card. Several other fighters keep talking about you and calling your name. Do you pay much attention to that?
Why would I pay attention to it? I did see a bit of Luther Clay's performance. I reckon I would have knocked the guy he fought. I would have knocked him out, Sparko, in about 4 rounds. I don't know why all these fighters keep calling me out. Like, just do your own thing. If you was me, Would you pay any attention to you? Think about that. No, you wouldn't, because you're on your own journey. I'm blessed to be in a position I'm in where I don't have to, call people out. People keep thinking I called Judge Kelly out. Well, I don't keep calling him out. It keeps getting brought up to me, and I keep answering it. So I'm not going to go, well, yeah, see what happens. I'll say what I'll think on it. But all these fighters calling me out, and the reason why I say yeah, Kelly, is because I know he's levels above, and in the rankings he's levels above, and people keep putting him on this pedestal and keep doing this. And well, I don't think he is that much. I don't think he's all that until what's been proven. So as far as I'm concerned, my career has been a lot more entertaining, with a lot less amateur fights, and we'll see where that one ends up. But as far as all these other fighters calling me out, you just do what you got to do. You're irrelevant to me and my journey. And if you do make it to the top, well then I can guarantee we'll meet. I don't need to fight you lot now. I don't even know who half the people are calling me out. I see so many things about people calling me out, and I don't even care. I don't need them. But if I was them, I'd call me out. So let them do what they got to do. If I'm ducking that person, then I'm ducking that one. But if I fight that one, I'm ducking that one. And then, so who cares about it? I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I did it first. I was like, well, what they think? I'm ducking them. What do you think? I don't care. Let them call me out. All they see is a pound note if they want to fight me. Like that. What's his name? Nathaniel Wilson. Eubanks, other something. It keeps calling me out. Like it's just funny. Or Harlem, that'd be a good fight down the line with Harlem. These are fights I don't want to like. Who's Luther Clay? Like who is he? Do you know what I mean? Who's everybody keeps calling me out. But then I like the respectful ones like that. Joe Laws, like he does my nutting. He does my nutting. Like really, he does. I've done a live video of him. I said, listen, mate, look, I'll give you a follow on Instagram. But if I see you calling me out again, well, then I'm going to have to unfollow you and block you. What do you want? So I like him because he's funny. Do you know what I mean? So when you get disrespectful people calling me out, it's like, pipe down, mate. Like, why are you being disrespectful for? Why? Why be disrespectful? You don't need to build a fight with me. You don't need to just stop being disrespectful. I don't want to fight if you want to be disrespectful. Do you know what I mean? But you get people and then it's like, yeah, alright mate, yeah, okay, shit is what it is. I'm not paying no attention to anybody. I'm staying in my lane and doing what I've got to do. They're irrelevant to me entirely, but some of them do make me laugh though.
Just final one, just do appreciate your time. They've had a very busy day in camp. British welterweight title. I know we've spoken about it in the past when Johnny Garton had it. Chris Jenkins has now got it. Defends it against Liam Taylor. What do you make of that fight?
I don't know who Liam Taylor is. I know Chris Jenkins, and only way I know Chris Jenkins is because I saw his fight with Garton. Tricky, knows what he's doing in the ring. You can tell he's experienced. British title's definitely something I want to grab. Obviously, I'm not overlooking my opponent next Saturday, because I've got a handful to deal with. But who doesn't want to pick up the British title? So as far as the Liam Taylor Chris Jenkins fight, I don't know Liam Taylor. I've never seen him fight. I don't even know what he looks like. Whoever wins it, it's a potential fight down the line. Do you know what I mean? Who else is there? That's it really. See how I get on this Saturday. I don't want to start talking about no titles and this and that. Again, I'm only 23 and if you rush it goes pear-shaped. The hard fights will come. But I just want to make sure that I'm ready for them when that time does come.
Okay. Well, Conor Benn, always a pleasure catching up with you. Do appreciate it. You always make a lot of time for myself and Boxing Social. It's very much appreciated. I hope viewers enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed doing it. Look forward to seeing you in action next Saturday at the O2.
Thank you. And sorry I went so deep there.
I don't think anybody's going to be complaining about that.
Yeah, that was proper deep. But it's just reality. Outside of the ring, outside of the bright lights and the name up in the lights, just a little bit of insight to I feel just the way everybody else feels.
Well, it's appreciated. We do appreciate your honesty, and what I'm sure is I can tell is a very confusing setup at the minute for yourself. But yeah, Conor Benn, thanks very much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. That was great.
Sports.